Hi, I'm Kelly from kellyjjewellery. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this cute ring. I've put a list of everything you'll need in the description below, so let's get started. I'd just like to say a quick thank you to all my patrons for all your support. I really appreciate you guys. I'll put all your names on the screen. Thank you all so much. And if you would like to come and support me and get extra little benefits and extra little tutorials every now and then, pop on over to Patreon. To make this ring, you'll need an 0.8mm wire, which is 20 gauge. I've cut one length at 8 inches, which is 20 centimetres, and 3 lengths at 6 inches, which is 15 centimetres. What else have I got? 0.315mm 28 gauge weaving wire. I've wound mine onto a bobbin. This is a Bobeeze bobbin by Beadsmith. You just have that down by your side and it helps with working with the longer lengths of wire. This is the 25mm unweighted. Oh, right, what's next? A little 5mm stone for the ring today. You can use a different size if you want to. I'd stick with something similar to that. And you can have a pointy back. Mine's flat today. You can have a pointy back stone if you like. Tools, I've got my pliers, round nose pliers, cutters, nylon pliers. If you don't have nylon pliers, don't worry. I just like having these handy for flattening weaves and straightening wires. All of my tools are Tronex, apart from those which are the prestige ones. I do recommend getting some of these. They're not much. I think I got mine off eBay. But yeah, Tronex, a little bit more expensive, but they're worth it because they last. I've had these absolutely years. And I remember when I had the cheaper ones and you have to keep replacing them all the time. Put your wire to the lengths that I have. Take the longer wire, find the centre of that wire, and then position it next to your stone. So your stone is central on the wire. We're going to bring that wire around the stone. So I'm pinching the stone in my fingers there, and we've got to get the wire nice and tight around the stone. And then we're taking the wire around the stone, so I'm going around the upper part of the stone. So if you're working with a pointy back, you're going around the point and the flat side is down. So turn it over. This side should be flat. If you're working with a pointy back, then this flat side is your surface. And we just carry on around. So bring the wire over the edge of the stone and then bring the wire around. So we're going around that top edge of the stone. Do you know what I mean? So then your stone is completely trapped in there and it's nice and safe. So we've got a total of 3 wraps. One's on the back, one's on the front, and one goes around the middle there, and both the wires finish coming out the top like that. This doesn't always work out first time. That's worked out really well for me, but I have been making quite a few of these over the years, so it may not work first time. Persist with it because it really is worth it, because you can add these to all sorts of different pieces, so it's worth getting it right, and you want your stone really nice and solid in there. So both the wires are coming out the top of the stone. Grip the wire at the top there, and we're going to bend it so it comes down on this side, and then this one we're going to bend it so it comes down on that side. It's only a subtle bend, it doesn't really look like a bend. It does on the back. So then we're going to attach another wire. So take one of your shorter lengths, find the centre of that wire, and we're going to put a bend in it. This bend needs to match this shape we've made here. So I do appreciate that one wire is to the front and one wire is to the back. We're going to have to work with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push this wire back a little bit, pushing the front wire back a little bit. You must be careful that you don't dislodge your stone. I'm pulling the back wire forward a little bit so that this wire can be attached to those wires. And that point to be nice and central, and we're going to weave across the wires on both sides to attach them in place. So we're going to weave across the two wires. Take your weaving wire. Let's have a think, hold on. What we'll do, we'll have a little bit of length at the beginning of this in case we want to add or take repeats. So leave about 10 inches at the beginning there, just gives us a bit of leeway. And we'll wrap around the bottom wire twice, which is our stone wire. And then we'll go twice around the two wires. That's going to keep doing that. And then we'll go twice around the stone wire, and we'll do that another couple of times. We can level it all up in a minute, it'll make sense, you'll see. I've done 3 repeats there. I'm pushing them up the stone, and then we've got the point at the top, which I'm going to pull that wire across a little bit. And then this wire comes down, and we've got that on that side. So we're going to take the wire, how we're going to do it, wrap around the top wire a couple of times. Get it all back in line. I want my back wire to be at more of an angle. And then I'm bringing the weaving wire across the back, and I'm going to weave across the wires on this side. Twice around the bottom wire, twice around both wires. And then we just need to level it up because it's moved a little bit. Really be careful not to dislodge your stone. So as you push your weaves in, the wire might move over to this side. So you grip it at the middle there where it's bent, and you pull it back over this side, and you end up with this. So we've got this nice V above the stone. It will stay there in a bit. So we'll leave about 6 inches on there, a little bit longer than that, just so we can use the weaving wire on the next bit. Take your other 2 base wires, so they're 6 inches. Position your thumb centrally on those wires. We'll start weaving just to the left of your thumb there, and we'll do the same weave that we did before. So wrap twice around your bottom wire. Wrap twice around both wires. And when you're weaving, if you want tidy weaves, always push your weaves together as you go. So if I do another couple on the bottom, always keep pushing it together as you go to keep it nice and tidy. So we did 3 repeats on the top, on the next to the stone, so we'll do 5, and then I want to bend the wires, because we're going to put a V into these wires as well. You want to roughly match the angle of the V in the wires with the stone wire. That's how great. See if you can hear loads of noise. So then we're going to carry on with the weave over this side. So I'm going to add another couple of wraps to that bottom wire. And then we'll carry on and we'll do 5 repeats across this side. Please mention me, Kelly Jones Design, when sharing your finished work. Online made from my tutorials. Please don't share images of the back or in progress, as it gives all my little design secrets away. So thanks for mentioning me. Thank you to everybody who does. I really appreciate you guys. So I've done 5 repeats on that side too. And this is gonna go next to the stone. And that's gonna be the front of our ring. That top wire has moved again. So that's gonna be the front of the ring. So you can see why I thought we might have to add some weave repeats. So now we just need to level off the wires so we can weave across all of them. So we need to bend these wires. When you're happy that that wire that keeps moving is in the middle, pull the wires up and out on both sides. Do you know what I mean? So we can weave across all of the wires. And on the other one as well. Can cut that tail end off from the beginning. So hopefully it'll be a shorter video this week. I've been doing such long videos lately and they take forever to upload. I really do try and keep them short. So push it all together the best you can. And then we want to bend those wires so that they can all be woven together. Do you know what I mean? So bring your 4 wires together and whichever one your bobbin's on, so you want your longer length of wire, and we'll weave across all 4. So because that is as long as I need it to be, I can cut that wire off too. Always press down your little cut ends. So weaving just across these 4 wires now. I'm going to wrap twice around the middle 2 wires. Then I'll go twice across all 4 wires. Bring it up between the bottom 2 and we'll go twice around the middle 2 wires. Push it together. And then I'm going to come up between those middle 2. And I'm going to go around the 3rd wire, come up between the bottom 2, I'm going around the 2nd wire and then push it together. And that's our repeat. So I just need to adjust my wires. So try and keep your wires in a straight line. So we go around the middle 2 twice, around all 4 twice, come up between the bottom 2, we go around the middle 2 wires again twice, come up between those middle 2, push your weave together, give it a little squeeze, it really is worth getting yourself some nylon pliers if you haven't got any. They're not much. You can make your weave so tidy by flattening them. So that's our weave, and that's our weave for our band. So keep repeating that, and we need to work out, right, so we need to work out how long we need the band to be, and you need a ring mandrel to be able to bend it around. But we'll do a bit for now, and then we'll work it out in a bit. So I've kept repeating that weave on that side. I might have done too many for the band size, but we can always undo some. Easy enough to do. I've got a gap, so I need to slide it all along a bit to fill that gap. We'll weave the other side. We want them to meet, so we can weave across them. So adjust your wires until you're happy with the shape. This wire is only short because it's the short end from earlier, so cut the other weaving wire at the other end, the longer one. Leave a little bit still attached in case we need to add or take repeats, which we will, to get the band size right. Take your weaving wire and weave the same weave over these wires that you did for that side. So I've done the 9 repeats on that side, same as I did the 9 repeats on this side. So just do the same amount for whatever you did on the other side, so it's all nice and central. And take your ring mandrel, which I forgot to mention, and we're going to very carefully bend it around. Aiming for a 5, it's going to be huge, but we can always undo the weaves, and you don't want to pop your stone out, so be really careful and very gently bend your ring around your mandrel. So as it's gone round, it's made my stone stick out a little bit, so I need to adjust that. And if I want it for a 5, I need to undo some of this weave because it's gone way too far. Unless you want it to overlap at the other side, I wanted them to just meet at the back, so I'm going to undo a couple of repeats on both sides. I think just to finish off these weaves, what I'm going to do is come up between the middle 2. I'm going to go around the top 2 twice, and then go around the bottom 2 wires twice. This is just so I can curl all my wires over together. I'm going to finish my weave a couple of wraps just around this wire here. So that's how I'm finishing my weave. So you get your weave to the length that you want it to be, and this is just to stop it slipping about, and so that it finishes with all the wires together and you haven't got these gaps on the sides. It'll make sense in a minute. Also, with the piece at the front, I've had to push down on the stone a little bit because this part was rising a bit high. So this is going to be an adjustable ring, and I'm just going to cut them and curl them over to finish them off, and then we're going to curl the wires over so that the ends don't scratch your finger. I didn't expect to project them off so tough. I shall go and get them all in a minute. They're all around my lights. It, and then with your round nose pliers, I'll just take 2 and we're going to curl them all the way around so that they meet the band, so we haven't got any sharp bits. So it has ended up the right size, though it's a little bit tight and I've got a little bit of a gap. I'm pleased how that turned out. I'll run and oxidise and I'll show you. I've just noticed the wire that went across the top is really loose. So I've got this little bit of weaving wire. Do you remember at the beginning when I did the weave on one side and I went straight across the top? So I don't like how loose that wire is. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it off at both ends and press it around. Come here. Press it around the wire. So we haven't got that extra bit. I need to cut that a bit shorter. And this one needs cutting off. I'm pressing around there. So we haven't got this long bit at the back. I must have been having a funny moment. Just make sure that front wire hasn't come away from the stone too. So there we have it, finished. I've oxidised mine. If you'd like help oxidising yours, I've done videos on oxidising and aftercare. I'll put links in the description below. I hope you managed to follow this video okay. I'd love to see what you've made. Tag me on Instagram and Facebook so we can have a look. I do love seeing all the different ones. So there we go. I will see you all in the next one. Bye for now.